Welcome aboard, folks, and welcome back to regular viewers. It is my pleasure to have you here. My name is Rod. I'm an airline pilot with one of our nation's leading legacy carriers. And in today's video, we'll be doing the second part of our career series. Please make sure you watch the first video before watching this one because it is, in sequence. If you watch that one first, this one will make a lot more sense. You have narrowed it down to two career paths, right? You've made it a very difficult internal searching process to find which career is best for you, which one you want to, and you have two of them that have basically ranked high on your list, and you know that you could be happy potentially doing either one of those two paths for a very long time. So then how do you proceed? What's the next step? How do you know if you really feel a strong calling to two different paths? I will provide you here with 4 concrete steps, strategies that you can implement to aid and assist in selecting the number one, the one you're actually going to go with, the career path that will hopefully yield lifelong progress and satisfaction. Step number 1. I did this myself when I was looking for my career, of course, and that is finding someone that is in the field and is currently doing that which you want to do. Now, whether you're really young or really old and you're looking for a new career path, this applies independent of where you are in your life. Find somebody that does what you like to do or would like to do and talk to them. This is basically a very aggressive networking that you have to do, especially if the field you want to go into is completely different and you know nobody in that field. Say it is, very, very different from your current profession and you don't have any networking to get into that. I did find myself in that position. There was nobody in my family that was in aviation. So I had to, go to the airports and tell people I wanted to become a pilot and talk to pilots and hang out at the airport. And then once you start to do all these things, you will eventually meet somebody. And then when you talk to that person that's doing what you're doing, you need to find out from them the do's and don'ts, right? This is huge. What is it that you really should be able to do or should be actively working on? And what are the many things that people think that you should work on, but in fact, it's just a waste of time, or even worse, it'll take you down the wrong path. So definitely make sure to check with them on the do's and don'ts. Additionally, when you're talking to that person, they will be able to provide you with real-world feedback, right? So we all know, for example, to all of those that have kind of decided they wanted to be an airline pilot, like myself, there's all that theoretical aspect of what you think being an airline pilot means, but what is it really like to be an airline pilot on a day-to-day basis? How does your week work? How about from week to week? How about career development? What kind of realistic, real-world salary projection can you expect relative to years of service or your own personal years of investment into this career process? So all these things are very key for you to know going into your field. And here for the golden nugget of today's video. Remember, who hires people? People hire people. It is very important to understand in today's highly technological world, we're thinking technology all the time, and I have to put my application on this portal and on this website. And yes, the software does filter, and it does limit from the thousands of applicants, perhaps to a few hundred or a few dozen, that then have to be processed manually. But in the end, it is a person that will interview you and will hire you. So keep that in mind as you're networking coming into this new career and into this new field that you do have to work with people and interact with people really well. It is not just a computer software that's going to spit you out, put you on top of the bit of the package. If you have ABC in all the boxes and you check all the boxes, yes, that does help, but ultimately, it will be a person calling the shots. Let's keep that in mind. Step number 2, if you have the luxury of, it would be nice to be able to talk to somebody that is working in the company that you would like to actually be hired by, right? In this new career path, in this field. So you're pretty well committed. You think this is your career path and you envision, okay, this will be a dream company inside of my field. Ideally, you would like to talk to somebody in that company, which may very well help you in narrowing down where you would like to network. Say you discover that people from this company tend to eat lunch at this restaurant, and you just show up there for lunchtime. And you happen to have your resume on you, and you happen to ask around, hey, do you work at this company or that company? It's like, oh, hi, look, I am interested in doing what you're doing. I'm brand new coming in from the outside. Remember, people love this because you're super excited. You're just happy to be there. You are definitely non-threatening. You're not going to take anybody's job. So they're going to typically open the doors for you. And I know it from personal experience because I was that guy doing that type of, asking that type of question. And people really do, they do want to help. They do want to see somebody grow. So go ahead, don't be scared, get out there, put your resume out there, get your face out there so that people know who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Step number 3. I did this myself. So I did always know that I wanted to be an airline pilot and I wanted to fly airplanes. I did, however, have a high level of interest in medicine, and I was in between pilot and surgeon. I was always very interested in the OR room type of operations and in the overall field of medicine. I've always been very passionate about it. I've always enjoyed the subject thoroughly. But I had a question, and my question was particularly related to the work environment. Could I withstand the demands of that type of work environment, which is to say, in a hospital setting, staying inside of a hospital all day, not being outside, perhaps a darker environment without any windows and just artificial light all day. Would I be able to do that? Because I know they have very long hours and it's extreme hard work. You have to be comfortable in your work environment in order for you to succeed, right? This is key. So what I did was, not all careers will allow for this. However, many will. I volunteered. Okay, so I do realize there are many variables that have to line up. So you have to have time, you have to have money or somebody that supports you while you do some volunteering. So there are scheduling and logistical complications associated with this type of experiment or path that you're doing here momentarily. But if you do have the luxury of doing this, I highly recommend it because you will undoubtedly have absolutely no doubt once you do this. So what did I do? Well, I volunteered 12-hour shifts at the hospital nearby. So I did 12 hours because it's, not short and not excessively long, like 16 or 20 hours. So the 12 hours was a good amount of work. And during that time frame, I was, wholly dedicated and very much in the moment, paying attention, absorbing everything. And many magical things occur when you are volunteering at a place. Again, with relation to you being perhaps a threat or taking up a slot of somebody, you know, some competition out there. That doesn't happen here because you're volunteering. So people are very nice to volunteers because it's free labor for the business. The people that are working there are happy to have an extra hand. Odds are, I hope you are very excited to be there and just static of being excited of being in that position, right? So when you bundle all these factors together, the doors will open for you. You will get to know people in the entire range of the chain of command, and you will be able to get no better, impossibly better insight into that career path, into the field, the industry, the positives and the negatives, and you're going to get unfiltered, unbiased, total honest, individual to individual, person to person feedback from those employees and those people. If they're disgruntled, they'll definitely tell you. And if they are super happy, they will definitely tell you. So again, this I couldn't recommend enough. It's a wonderful way to do it. Highly recommend you do it. Make sure to try it out if you can do it. So after volunteering at the hospital for these 12-hour shifts for an extended period of time, though it didn't have to be too long, I recall, I was absolutely certain that was not going to work. Overall, what determined for me, the determining factor was the issue that I thought was an issue, and I was correct. It did end up being an issue. Being in an environment with no windows, yeah, it could be thunderstorm or sunshine out there, and I had absolutely no idea, for me, was something that I did not want to go through, or I didn't enjoy that working environment. I mean, I'm definitely okay with it in short intervals, but to spend 20 hours, or perhaps some people do 48-hour alert shifts where they're in a hospital for 48 hours, and just not seeing the light of day for 48 hours, obviously I could do it if I have to do it, but out of my own free will, I don't think, well, I did not choose. I wouldn't choose to do that, which is okay. There are many that do, and there are many that don't. And that's the beautiful thing. Some people like it, some people don't. So choose what is right for you. I, through doing that, determined that that was not correct for me, which was invaluable in my overall, in the development of self, in self-understanding and going forward. The last point that I have to offer you here, point number 4, as a strategy to determine if you can do this or not, is a luxury that, to be honest, I realize, again, most people cannot afford. However, if you're young and coming about, this will be undoubtedly a wonderful experience, which is an internship, right? So an internship is typically something that you do at the end after you've concluded your education, your 4 years. But you can sometimes do an internship in a field that is very similar and associated with perhaps your major, or you can land it through networking with people that you know in different companies. So it would certainly not fit the bill where it is a field that is entirely different to yours and there's no relationship to it. You just want to try it. That's not going to work. But if you are in a very similar field and you want to perhaps try a little bit of a different angle, then you can try that internship. And the internship, very much like the volunteer work, but perhaps to a higher degree, will open even more doors because you have gone through a rather long selection process. Internships are typically awarded only to the top tier students and will open many doors. There's a contract, there are typical clauses associated with the internship from a overall, behavioral standpoint and code of conduct. And it is also a contract between you and the company, and then the company and the educating institution, the university. So all of those dynamics play a key role. I did this as well. I did the only in-flight flying airplanes internship available at the time. I graduated soon after 9/11, so obviously you can imagine the airline industry was in turmoil, and it was very, very difficult to acquire an internship, and we didn't have many opportunities. There was only one single major offering an internship back then, which was Continental Airlines, no longer in existence. They merged into United and are now United Airlines. And I wasn't exactly comfortable doing my internship with a company that I wasn't certain if it was a company that I wanted to work for. Again, I came into this industry without anybody in it, so I was just pioneering it from a family standpoint. So I wanted to keep my options open. And there was one company that had what we call the hard flying, the actual in-aircraft flying internship. It was unpaid, but it was out of Fort Lauderdale International, and I managed to do it. Obviously, top-tier student, almost 4.0, with countless, extracurricular activities. That landed me that key internship, which was paramount into my overall career development and success. It was through that I was able to secure multi-engine turbine time, which at the beginning of an airline pilot's career is downright impossible to get. And that just skyrocketed and launched my career really well after that. So there you are, folks. Those 4 little tips. I hope it helps you. I realize you may not be able to implement all of these, but if you can implement 1 or 2, that'd be great. If you implement all 4, by the time you go into it, you will for sure know, without a doubt, the field you chose is the field for you. And I just want you to be happy and successful and make a lot of money in the career path that you choose. And I hope these tips will help you. Now again, folks, this is a new channel on YouTube. We are an aviation channel. We are doing these career videos because I think it is absolutely paramount for us to be happy and fulfilled, meaningful jobs, and doing something that adds to our lives. Now, we do need your help. Please do share this video with everybody that you know that is seeking a career and perhaps changing a career. Go ahead and share this video, send it that way, smash the like button, subscribe. Do appreciate you tuning in with us. And as I always end the videos, fly safe until next time, and we'll see you soon.